NCAA women's title game. That was super fun. It was much better than watching my San Diego State. Dude, San Diego State's so trash on offense, man. Like, their defense intensity is great, but I see why Darren Fox talked about college basketball being like trash when it comes to just like the shooting. It's just mostly like athletes out there running around, but they don't have the skill level of the NBA guys. And that's, Darren Fox hits the mark on that. But that women's game was fun to watch.
Honestly, I enjoyed the Final Four for the women's. It was really good. I mean, when I was younger, I played basketball. My coach would make us watch women's basketball because it was more fundamentally sound. And I thought this was great. I mean, I can't remember a time where the women's NCAA tournament was a big deal like this. I can think of like when UConn won like 300 games in a row.
Yes.
Or whatever it was, that streak, which was ridiculous. But they were just plowing through people. Like, it wasn't even, it wasn't competitive. Like, they really didn't run into any obstacles. And then you had, like, the Brittany Griner season, the Baylor days, where she was going through and she was averaging, like, 15 blocks a game, like, ridiculous. And after that, I can't recall, like, a more energized women's tournament outside of this year.
Agreed, because like everything, like the possessions, especially like watching like the South Carolina game.
Yeah, that one was dope. That was
dope because it was physical. There was athleticism. The ball movement was real well. I mean, like from a coach's standpoint, I loved it. I was just like, man, this is some good basketball being played. Now the whole thing got mucked up is because everybody's talking about what happened at the end of the game, of the national championship game, when they're watching Angel over there, point to the ring, do the John Cena, you can't see me. And everybody was like, oh, like, why are you doing that to Caitlin? And da-da-da-da-da. But Caitlin is doing that to Louisville. Like, she's stunting on everybody the way, she was out there doing it. So I hate, we are not a channel that is built on like race relations, but was this a foul when it comes to the media where they try to portray Angel as a bad woman for, taunting when Caitlin was doing that the whole time?
Oh, of course, they're just trying to make a story out of it. Ratings, man. You start talking about it and there's ratings and you get people to comment. Social media runs everything, right? So you get people with blue checks, both earned and bought, and people who pay for their blue checks with 7 followers, talking about it and arguing about it. And, unfortunately, race relations sell, right? Whenever you can make a division out of nothing, the media wins, right? They were talking about this garbage back and forth. They were both doing the same thing. Caitlin I think she was more disrespectful when she was waving. She wasn't even playing defense on was it Louisville? She wasn't even playing.
Was it South Carolina?
Or South Carolina.
They're sagging back.
She was sagging way back and waving them off. And like, I appreciate that in the women's game because that's what I want to see. I mean, they're, just like the men. When men do that all the time, and it's okay. I want to see the women do that because this was more, like I said, this is more exciting than the WNBA. This one's far more exciting than the WNBA. And, like, both of those two, and the funny thing is, like, both of these young ladies don't even care. Like, they're like, yeah, it's for the love of the game. We're hoopers. That's what we do. She's great. I know she's great. I'm great. You know what I mean? You had 2 dogs going at it, and we were barking at each other. And, like, the best woman won at the end. You know what it is? And I'll see you next year. Because, I hate what I just found out. I just looked it up. Like, you can't go to the WNBA until you're 22.
Yep.
So it's like, you have a chance to run it back next year. And then you got an old girl from UConn who tore her ACL, who's been a dog in high school ball, and she tore her ACL this year, and she's going to come back with UConn next year. and be ready to dog. I'm not sure about Cook from South Carolina. She might be old enough to leave, but I mean, you got three studs coming back on top of whoever else might be joining the party next year. I just thought it was unfortunate. I think people took it a little too far. Like that bum ass dude from Barstool called her like a classless piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like that's
kinda,
ridiculous.
your like your racism is kind of showing. Your because like you weren't saying that when the foot was on the other
the shoes on the foot. Right? Yeah.
This podcast, I'm gonna butcher all kinds of those little phrases. So to go back to your WNBA stance, I watched the WNBA here because you have the Vegas and Becky Hammon coaches them, the Vegas Aces, and I almost took a job for them as a intern. But anyways. WNBA is not as like, it's just more of like, hey, we're going through the motions, we're paid to be here. Like they work hard and everything, but it wasn't as spirited as what we saw on Saturday and on Sunday and Friday.
Yeah, it's like the NBA for the first 70 games.
Exactly. That's what they all want to do. NBA is it's miserable regular season. But then you combine that with, I used to ref adult leagues, and I used to ref this women's adult league on Wednesday nights. And it was in Claremont Mesa. Shout out to everybody there. I wonder if they still have it there. But women talk so much trash to each other. It is so competitive, and they'll talk to the refs. Like I remember, like a lot of the refs wouldn't want to go over there because like they just like, man, these women talk so much shit. Like I don't even want to be a part of it. I end up teeing them up. Like I just get so pissed, and like I told my boss, I was like, Jeff, man, put me over there. I'll go over there. Like they love me over there. It's like, oh look at little light skin is out here reffing our game again. He's cool, They used to call me little light skin. It was just like a bunch of like black moms that used to like be in this league. It was great, and but they would talk so much shit. Like hey, like you're calling them like F words and B words and C words, and I was like, damn, this is spirited. But like that's good basketball though. They played good quality basketball, and like that's what I think America like drove to that game was because it was great quality basketball, and we need more of that. We need more of that from like especially for the men's games. The men's game is trash. San Diego State, my boys. Oh man, I don't want to talk about it. Bums. But anyways, you have anything else to say about this topic?
Nah, I think it was a great game. Both ladies played well. I mean, Caitlin dropped 30. She still dropped 30. I knew her team wasn't going to be able to match up. At the end of the day, it's a team sport, right? And, she had back-to-back 40 games, then it finishes with a 30.
Right.
But then they had the other, I don't know her, I can't remember her name. She dropped 21 in the first half. When she had a goose egg for the previous 3 games. I
know what you're talking about. She was a beast. She was a beast. And it's surprisingly the bench, LSU's bench too, like came alive because they were daring them to shoot and they were just like pulling like
they were pulling.
Tried that all season.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
So
it was a crazy game.
Great game, and I also think real quick just to finish it, I think. Jill Biden, she's wrong for trying to invite both teams.
Yeah, dude. What are you doing, Jill?
That's not a thing. That's ridiculous, man. That's not a thing. That's never been a thing for anyone else. The winners are the ones who go to the White House. Don't try to change it now because it was. You want to make this I don't even know what you're trying to make it, but they don't. To me, that's also that's a slap in the face for Iowa. Here, we feel bad. I don't want your pity invite. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They lost. They played hard, and they accept their L. They take it on the chin. I think that's a little disrespectful, obviously, to LSU. But I would say definitely towards Iowa is here's a participation trophy to my little white girls who got beat by a bunch of black girls. Mm-hmm. Again, if that shoe was on the other foot, I don't think LSU would be getting invited.
No, definitely not. And then that's what you call it. It's a participation trophy. And even I kind of questioned my company because we hand out not participation trophies, but second place trophies. For second place, and I'm like, man, Nelly's right, man. I am number 1. 2 is not a winner, and 3 nobody remembers. Get that stuff out of here, Congratulations. to LSU.
Yeah.
Champions. And F UConn.